So here's the West Indies side for this match against New Zealand. Haynes and Lara to open the batting. Richardson to come in at number 3, then Hooper, Atherton and Logie, the rest of the specialist batting lineup. Malcolm Marshall up as high as number 7 as the all-rounder. David Williams, the wicket-keeper, then the pace bowlers to finish. Kirtley Ambrose, Winston Benjamin and Anderson Cummins. The New Zealand side for today, Mark Greatbatch preferred over John Wright as the opening batsman. Rod Latham to go in with him, then Jones, Crowe, Rutherford, Harris, Patel, Smith, Larsen, Morrison in the side ahead of Chris Cairns today, and Williw Watson to complete the lineup back in the...
And there's the first runs, and it's taken them, 14 balls, and we're in the third over, and Desmond Haynes just get nipped on the fingers again. Well bowled by Morrison, a big call. Looked fairly close first time up. Let's have another look.
Well, it did look pretty good. Well,
did a bit.
Judge for yourself. Yeah, it did quite a lot.
And that's exactly it. Short outside the off stump, just as Glenn was saying, and it was hit away for 4. That was a bad ball. The first really bad one Morrison has bowled.
Short and wide, and just using the pace of the ball and slashing it over the top. So New Zealand doing well, holding the West Indies in the 8th over. Only 15 runs.
Well, that's a runs off at the face of the bat, slicing away, a chase for Jones, and 2 runs to Desmond Haynes. The runs are being squeezed out like toothpaste out of an awkward tube. It's in the air, it's over the top, it's 4 runs, and giving Morrison there again, giving Lara a little bit of room outside the off stump, a little bit of width, and Lara gratefully accepted it.
Yes, well, just a slip in a gully there. He can't afford to bowl full and out there. Lara will just give it the full flourish, and although there was no real control in the shot, he knows it's fairly safe.
Now here's Larsen. It's in the air, and just over his head. Agonizingly close. Tremendous effort by
Danny Morrison. If he'd just been another 6 inches taller, Tony, I think he might have had that one. We see here that he didn't really get onto this, did he? And Danny had to run back quite a way, but it was a great effort. In fact, often those ones stick, don't they, if you can just get near them?
He's got that one. That's the middle of the bat. So Larsen being too short here, and Brian Lara quickly fastening on to the second one.
Yes, at Larsen's pace, you can't afford to be short to players like Lara. He's so strong in that area, Tony, and we saw there that he really got onto that, didn't he? Larsen's got to get up, get him coming forward.
Lovely shot. Beautiful straight drive by Brian Lara, who's now started to accelerate, and this is what the West Indies really were looking for. A rather desperate situation with the first 11 overs just producing 22.
As we're seeing here, I said he had to keep the ball up, but he was just the over-tossed there, and Larsen, I don't think, would have gone for as many runs in his first over as this in any of the competitions that he's played in.
And he's banged that away as well. This could go all the way. The outfield is a bit slow after last night's rains, but it just has enough carry to reach the boundary, and that's just the type of over the West Indies wanted. 36 without loss after 12. It's in the air, and it's gone all the way. He's got hold of it for a 6. Just dropping it in a little too short, and Desi Haynes has dispatched it over that short square boundary.
Yes, he just played it so easily, didn't he? He didn't seem to have any power at all in that shot, but look at where it went to, up into the terraces there. Just can't afford to bowl short to players of Haynes' ability.
Typical Desmond Haynes shot. He really is very adept at that little guide through the vacant slips area in the one-day game. So he's starting now to accelerate. The West Indies have reached their 15th in the 17th over.
Haynes starting to get the momentum going. He's turned it very well. Larsen might struggle to get it.
He did it pretty well, Richard, because it's fairly damp down there, and although that might have slowed the ball, it also made it difficult for Larsen to get to it.
Yes, he did very well. Typical Desmond Haynes shot there, just working it down the leg side. And Gavin Larsen, he had a long chase, and it is quite damp down there, quite a bit of sawdust down there as well, but he just flicked that ball back and recovered well.
Well, that's another fine nibble around by Lara this time. And who's got the longest chase for that one? It's Andrew Jones coming around from backward square leg. And Jones did pretty well to contain them to 3. That looked as if it had 4 run written all over it. And it's a lovely shot from Lara down the ground. It was in the air a bit, but really gave Williw Watson no chance. And the 19th over's come to an end. It's 65 for none. Oh, it's a chance for Cotton Bold, and Harris has got it once again. In his first over, Chris Harris has taken a wicket with a magnificent Cotton Bold from Haynes. Haynes, Cotton Bold, Harris, 22. And the West Indies have lost their first wicket at 65 in the 20th over.
Well, New Zealand have waited a long time for this wicket. Harris just moving that ball into Haynes. A little bit of bottom hand there and a very good diving catch. And New Zealand fielders or bowlers have been very good at taking caught and bowls in this competition. And Desmond Haynes will be disappointed to get out, but 65 for 1, New Zealand will be happy.
Oh, I think Patel would have done better to dive then. He's not going to stop that. It's 4 runs. Beautifully timed by Lara. He just leant into that. And I think if Patel had launched himself like a diver, he might have stopped it.
Yes, he did. He just stroked that. He didn't even follow through. So it just shows, doesn't it, if you get the ball in the middle of the bat and your timing right, how it can still go through to the boundary.
Oh, that was through Richardson. Again, he didn't come right forward. Again, there was that sort of walking stroke. Could so easily have given Smith a catch.
I think it may have left him here, actually. Yes, he played inside it. Goodish delivery. But once again, a lack of foot movement there. Just caught on the crease, and the ball doing a little bit and being left stranded.
Yeah. Brian Lara gets his 3rd 50 in the competition, his 5th overall in one-day internationals for the West Indies. The little left-hander from Trinidad and Tobago has played very well for his 50.
Played very well, hasn't he? Played some big innings, that innings when he got 88. Looking to see not a lot of boundaries, but he certainly picked up the 1s and 2s.
He's out. Lara goes, simple catch to point, and for the 3rd time in this inning, in this competition, Brian Lara has been caught at point. He was caught there against South Africa, against Zimbabwe, and now for the 3rd successive time he's been caught at point after making 52.
You're seeing here, this ball actually bounced a bit on him, didn't it? He didn't really have the room, and as you said, once again, caught in that region, but well batted. He's batted well for the West Indies this morning.
What a desperate save. These New Zealanders really are playing it as if they intend to win this competition. They've done that from the very start, and that's a magnificent effort on the boundary up there from Danny Morrison. Patel with his last over now. And the West Indies have raised the 100 in the 32nd over. Just the 2 wickets down, so they've got the base for some aggression towards the end of the innings, but they'll need it. That's a huge hit, but it's a catch as well. Back there waiting for it to drop, and taken a deep run on. He had to wait an eternity out there, Mark Greatbatch. And Carl Hooper goes, caught by Greatbatch on the fence. That ball had icicles on it before it came down, and the West Indies have lost their 3rd wicket. Carl Hooper going cheaply once more.
As we're going to see here, he decided to get after Patel, got to him, got a lot of height on that, But this was a very well-judged catch. Look how long Great Pitch had to wait for it to come, and he made sure he took it. But another blow to the West Indies. But a great wicket for New Zealand.
Well, he can't be short like that. That was too short, too easy, and Atherton has his first boundary.
Well, Latham was a lot slower than any of the other New Zealand bowlers, with the exception of spin bowler Patel, of course. But Latham has been a bit of a surprise package for New Zealand and done quite a good job, particularly against the Englishmen in the domestic international series. But in the World Cup, he has struggled.
There he goes again, the same plays. It's not protected yet either.
Well, if he's going to bowl short outside the off stump, then really he's got to have a man square on the boundary, on the cover point boundary. I mean, that short and wide just sits up to be smashed, and Atherton has been very severe there. So really he's got to straighten up his line and get his length right.
Oh, it's a wide ball.
That's going to be 4 byes.
4 wides, I think, Richard. Wait for the umpire.
It is 4 wides. Well, Ian Smith would normally stop those, but really it's the fault of the bowler. He's certainly not getting the target right. It's going wider and wider, wasn't it?
So it's Richie Richardson and Keith Atherton together. 12 overs to go as Williw Watson starts over number 39. The ball's high in the air. Smith's underneath it. Wait for this. It's out. First ball after drinks. The West Indies captain is gone. Well, it was time for a summit conference while that ball was in the air, Bob.
Once again, when these guys hit it, we see here, it wasn't short enough to pull, and all he succeeded in doing was getting it up in the air, and look how long Smithy had to wait. But I'm so pleased to see the keeper there with the gloves on, because they're the ones to catch those steeplers. But what a blow from New Zealand. That's just what they needed. These two looked as if they were getting on with the job.
Richie Richardson gone for 29, 136 for 4.
Is out, bowled by Harris there for 3. The score now 142 for 5. That seemed to deceive him. It may have been a little bit slower. Crept under the bat. Well bowled Harris.
Yeah, very casual here, and I was almost going to suggest that Crowe bring in another fielder to keep Logie on strike as the incoming batsman. Let's watch and just see. Well, no, it's nipped back through the gate. He just pushed through it, left a nice little hole there between bat and pad. Harris got the ball to move in, but Logie won't be happy with that. 142 for 5.
He's bowled in. Marshall trying to hoist it over mid-wicket, missed the shot. Larsen gets his 2nd wicket. The West Indies lose their 6th at 156 in over number 46.
Yes, we're going to see here that Marshall looking to hit this ball over mid-on. It was really a straight ball. If it deviated at all, Henry, Tony, I think it just drifted in, but rather a loose shot. And the score at the moment is the West Indies are 156 for 6 in the 45th over.
He's got it away, that's 4. Just a little leg glance to a low full toss, and Williams has got it away for 4. Boundaries are what the West Indies need now, and Williams has got that one away for 1.
Yes, we're seeing here that just a little too full there. Looked to be pitched on middle and leg. No one fine. We have a man down there at fine leg, but he's rather square.
Full toss, bad ball, put away by Williams. On the first bounce for 4. So New Zealand just starting to lose their way a bit here. Bad ball, full toss.
Yes, we're seeing here that just sat up there and asked to be hit to the boundary.
Down the ground, and Williams has got it high in the air and just inside the boundary. So Williams has started to go now. And he's got another boundary. He's had 3 boundaries so far, and just enforcing the confidence which Captain Richardson has had in him in putting him above Ambrose.
Yes, we see there that ball was wide. He hit it on the up.
And that's another one. It'll go for 4, so Williams really on fire here. It's his highest one-day international score, and he really still started now to open up against Williw Watson.
Well, it's another bad ball to start the over now. Watson started the previous one with a full toss, which Williams hit before. He's just going to go the same way.
Well, this is very good striking by David Williams. Exactly what the West Indians want. Watson, he's trying to get the ball right up there on the block hole and bowl Yorkers, and that's where it's got to go. But a low full toss is probably just as bad as a short ball. I mean, you can just swing it away, and that's what Williams has done very effectively.
Atherton swings high, but Jones is down there.
Well, that's good running. And I don't know whether Martin Crowe would have been too happy with that fielding from Jones.
The West Indies now on 4 and over as Atherton gets another full toss, and it's in the gap again, so they're picking the gaps pretty well, the West Indies. And Williw Watson's full toss has gone for another boundary. It's 198 for 6.
Yes, well, Watson's got it wrong. I mean, that is really a lamb chop. Nice, juicy full toss. The batsman can really take toll of. Virtually hit it anywhere.
Five balls left, and there's the 200 for the West Indies. The umpire might have a look at that, but Smith must have been very close to having Atherton out. A quick shy, he had to have a go for it.
Oh, yes. Definitely out. Anyway, a couple of balls to go now in the innings. And it's 201 for 6. And one suspects that the bat will fly almost in any direction now, let alone the ball.
Oh, he's bowled him. Danny Morrison bowled the ball and then pulled up a bit lame, and you can see that he's limping there. A bit of concern amongst the New Zealand camp for Danny Morrison, but also a bit of pleasure that he has bowled Atherton with just 1 ball remaining, and Atherton leaving bowled by Morrison for 40. It's 201 for 7.
Well bowled by Morrison, and well deserved too, because he started so well with the new ball and wasn't rewarded. He's come back late in the innings and dismissed Atherton, who's batted pretty well for his 40 runs, 54 deliveries, 3 boundaries in that.
So here's the last ball of the innings. It's Benjamin's first. And it's 1, it's 2. And 203 is the score. 203 for 7. After 50 overs have been completed, and some very good performances in the field by the New Zealanders have restricted the West Indies score to 203.
203 for 7. The West Indies scoring 45 runs in the last 5 overs, so they've done well to get up to 203 for 7. Coincidentally, the same score that India made in 32 overs against Zimbabwe yesterday in Hamilton. The top scorer, Lara, 52 from 81 deliveries. Some solidity in the middle order there from Keith Atherton, 40 from 54 before he went in the last over. And David Williams hitting out well to score 32 at the end. 203 for 7 in 50 overs, the West Indies' final score. Here are the New Zealand bowling figures. Danny Morrison took a wicket in his last over. That was well deserved. Dipak Patel opened the bowling and did quite superbly in 3 spells, 1 for 19 from 10 overs. Williw Watson conceded 56, but 27 of those went in the last 2 overs. Gavin Larsen, conversely, went for 14 in his first and came back to concede only 41 overall. Chris Harris was the best New Zealand bowler today, 2 for 32, and Rod Latham had an unfortunate bowling experience.
Well, that's a good start for New Zealand. Welcome back, Bob.
Well, just a loosener, but a little bit of carry there, good bounce.
It's in the air and just over the head of Atherton. picks up a boundary.
Well, here's an example of Great Batch being allowed to get on the front. Well, really, the ball was much fuller than the others it had been, but a little wide too. So Great Batch took the chance, got bat on it, 4 runs.
It's over the top and safely for Latham, so he gets his first runs. Not entirely convincing, but he'll be happy to get the ball from the bat. And Great Batch wanted 3.
Great Batch. He was on his pads, he hit it away handsomely, just behind square for 4. Well, he's lived well there, certainly.
Well, that's a rare delivery to hit that's reasonably full, and of course on the leg stump there, and Great Batch very strong on his legs, what left-handers are, and really he dealt that one.
That could be, no, not out. Umpire Peter McConnell was bringing his hands round. I thought perhaps to answer that appeal in the affirmative. Outside leg.
Well, certainly pitched outside leg, and of course there's no way the batsman can be out LBW.
Oh, is he going to be out? No, it's not. It's 4 runs. There was no way that was going to be stopped down there at fine leg by Cummin. He did his best. It was just fine of him. I thought for a moment it was going to be catchable.
Well, that's what Great Batch is there for. Anything sort of short, wide, full, over-tossed, anything of that nature, he's got to fly his bat at it.
Oh, it's over the top. It's just over the top of second slip. Had Ambrose been fielding at second slip, he'd have bent down to catch that. But it's a difficult game if you're in Logie's height there. And away it went for 4. End of the over, 24 for no wicket. Oh my goodness me, he's hit that to 6. That was an extraordinary blow. He came to a pace down the wicket to Marshall. He did way over extra cover for 6. Unbelievable. I wonder if Marshall's ever been hit over extra cover for 6 in his life before.
Well, Malcolm Marshall, you're right. He just stood there and couldn't believe watching that ball whistle over wide mid-off for 6. And that has gone well over.
Well, how's Cummins going to reply to that?
That's 6.
It is, it's 6 runs. It's climbed as high as the Eiffel Tower. And there's 6 being signalled by Peter McConnell. And Great Batch is living merrily. He's gone to 29. And what an splendid stroke. It may have been a bit edgy, but I tell you what, it was taller than tall.
Yes, well, it certainly went very high. Short again. The Great Batch getting under it, helping it on its way. And that's back about 15 rows into the terraces.
Well, they got in. I don't know what would have happened when he hit the stumps, but Latham was running down the wicket like a human cannonball, and indeed the ball ran into him. Isn't this exciting? It's 48 for no wicket. Martin Crowe in the headband there. You can just make him out. He'll be pleased. Oh, steered down to third man. It's a chase for Marshall. Or is it 4? I think it's gone through for 4. It has, and that is the 50. 50 coming up in the 10th over. A wonderful start for New Zealand. Great Batch has got 30. Latham, don't forget the part he's played too. He's made 12. And it really is all the fun of a super fair.
It's in the air, down towards third man. Cummins, the fielder, 6 more. This is unbelievable stuff. And currently Ambrose can't believe it, nor can Warren Lees. This is quite astonishing. Third 6 for Great Batch.
Well, it's a miscue, but fortune favours the brave. He's given himself some room and he's swung very hard indeed, and it's gone cleared third man for another 6, and Curtly Ambrose just can't believe it.
Wilson hit back past Cummins. That went like a rocket. Great match, just on fire.
And Cummins here was under threat, really, of getting his head knocked off, with the batsman progressing down the wicket towards him and blasting it past him. Even the umpire was in great danger with that one. He hit it as clean as a whistle. Stump vision.
He's got him, the first wicket is gone. So that break, which was caused by the crowd, I would suggest has had an effect on the game. Immediately after it, the West Indies have come together. They've had a mid-pitch conference while the police were reinforcing themselves over on the far side, and immediately after that, a dismissal.
Yes, it was just short outside the off stump, perhaps didn't do a lot, and just hanging out the washing there. Latham, so New Zealand's first wicket down at 67 in the 12th over.
And that's a magnificent on drive. Great batch, really in top form here. End of the over at 73 for 1.
Watch the drive and on drive. Now watch here, the timing. He's in beautiful position over the top of the ball and just pushes it very hard indeed through mid-on. Now that was a shot of class rather than some of the blunderbust shots that we've seen prior to that, which is very exciting and so on. But that was very unspectacular and yet showed real class.
He really is striking the ball beautifully.
Oh, this is through mid-off. They've got a long on in to bring up that man. And that's great batches of 50 from just as many balls. That's his 6th one-day 50 and the 2nd of this competition.
.85 for 1. We're in the 18th over, so New Zealand have started with a rather slow and perhaps understandably hesitant start. But since the 5th over, they've decided to take the attack to the West Indies bowlers, and as they've been successful, the quality of the bowling has just wilted a little.
And there goes great batch away, swinging the first ball of Cummins' next over. It was short, a little bit of width outside the off stump, but wham, it went away over cover for 4 runs. So great batch has not lost the touch, he's merely biding his time. That was a handsome blow. Takes him to 60, it's 92 for 1. Oh, he's gone, he's out. Jones batted that off the back foot without moving his feet. Got the edge, and Williams has taken his 2nd catch, and New Zealand now 97 for 2. Jones has gone for 10.
Well, I suppose we shouldn't be too premature in predicting any New Zealand victory at this stage, because the loss of Andrew Jones is a bit of a blow to New Zealand, because he certainly a very much an informed batsman and a very important member of the New Zealand innings, and that was a good dismissal. And New Zealand now at 97 for 2 in the 22nd over. Jones not really using a lot of footwork there, and just flicking at that one, trying to hit it off the back foot, square through the offside, through point. It just found the edge, and David Williams very happy with that.
Off they go to raise the 100 and to get Martin Crowe's first run. Quickly run single. Martin Crowe is on the way, and New Zealand reached their 100 in the 24th over. And there's great batch going. There's a catch this time to deep cover. He's gone. He's snubbed once too often. That's the wicket the West Indies won. Desmond Haynes has taken the catch. Great batch goes. The West Indies have had, finally, something to cheer about. But what an innings from great batch.
Rather subdued for a while, Paddy Batch, charging this time, going towards the ball bouncing and going off the face and carrying all the way down to the offside sweeper, Desmond Haynes, who makes no mistake. So New Zealand now losing their third wicket in the 24th over for 100.
Benjamin lost his footing coming around and it goes for 4. He would have got there, but it's a little bit slippery from last night's rain.
Short and pulled away.
Benjamin just dropping it in short and Crowe very quickly to get onto it. So 2 boundaries in the last 2 overs for New Zealand.
It's a good shot from Rutherford, banged in short from Benjamin, trying his luck.
And Crowe playing a big shot. It's in the air though. He's going to just clear Haynes. Oh. Crowe gets an edge and gets a bit of luck too. That's a better shot. That's going to be another 4. It's going to beat Ambrose down there. And that ends a very productive over for New Zealand, with 9 runs coming from the 8th over bowled by Benjamin. And Crowe's batting much better too, hitting that ball to backward point. And that's his third 4 in 4 balls.
Yes, you'll see here in this replay that Hooper was just a little guilty of getting too wide there, giving Crowe a chance to free his arms.
Oh, that's another nick and he's gone again. Williams has his 3rd catch. Ambrose has the 1st wicket, and New Zealand have lost their 4th wicket, with Rutherford caught by Williams, bowled by Ambrose for 8. New Zealand are 135 for 4 in the 34th over.
As we see here, the ball full and length, just a little bit of a waist swerve. Rutherford didn't really get to the pitch of the ball, pushed the bat out, orthodox catch to the keeper.
Well, really no footwork at all there from Ken Rutherford, so he's gone. He'll be disappointed. It's 135 for 4 now as drinks come onto the field.
Powerful shot by Harris. He's got it through. Well run, back for 3. 141 for 4. Crowe on the sweep. He's used that shot more often recently. That's 4 more. The over completed at Eden Park. And it's 145 for 4 after 35. Full toss. Straight down the long arm. This will be 4.
All it needs, Peter, is just the odd boundary coming each over, and that's exactly what's happening. And it just puts the game that much closer to New Zealand's chance of victory. Over pitch, you don't get too many of those. A full toss, in fact, and Crowe straight back down the pitch through mid-on.
Pulling it away off his pads, and that goes for 4. That was a marvellous stroke by Crowe, and that really has given something to the crowd. That's the answer to the Mexican wave by Martin Crowe. 159 for 4. That a brilliant stroke.
It was a good shot, Henry. In fact, it's his 8th boundary, and was anything fractionally short, he's onto that very quickly. And this is what New Zealand have been doing in the last half dozen or so overs, where they have been getting that 4 ball away.
Stroke there by Crowe, pulling it away. Is it going for 4? Yes, it is, in front of square. It's not often that people hook Ambrose. Difficult player to play that stroke against. It's Crowe's 50. There it is. He's 52. He's played wonderfully well. 166 for 4. Well, Richard, that was a marvellous stroke again, wasn't it?
Yes, but it's a captain's innings as well. 9 4s in that.
through. Cummins coming back and being too short once more. First delivery, and Crowe pounces on it for yet another 4.
West Indies deciding they need to slip in there, and as a result there's no offside sweeper, so Cummins has to be more accurate than that. As soon as the ball penetrated the field, it was always going to go through for 4.
He's gone. Cummins comes back and claims the wicket of Harris, caught behind. It's perhaps not the batsman that New Zealand wanted to get, the West Indies wanted to get most, but at least it's a wicket. And New Zealand have lost their 5th at 174.
It's a fairly low-key dismissal here. It almost as though he just played it into the keeper's hands, and whenever Williams runs towards the stumps, you know that the batsman has nicked the ball. And so New Zealand now in the 42nd over, 174 for 5.
Cracking shot for just a single from Patel to get off the mark.
Well, you would think that Patel had been in for ages playing that shot.
Haynes, and he's, well, not out, says the umpire. Haynes is sure he had him. Hit the stumps direct, and Desmond Haynes is dumbfounded that the umpire didn't give him out. Peter McConnell seemed to be in a very good position.
Yes, he did, and they got a second run as a result of this, but we'll just watch with interest. Patel, live, appeared to be short of his ground. Yes, well, a good meet.
Well short. No wonder Desmond Haynes looked to the heavens. Could even have been a bad one. And here's, oh my goodness gracious, another chance of a run out, and the West Indies muffed this one terribly. So Dipak Patel has got all the luck running for him. Brilliant bit of fielding by Curtly Ambrose at mid-off.
But this shot was very strong, but see how it goes away to the left of Ambrose, and he's almost on the ring, on the edge of the ring there, and so he's well away, and the fumbling that goes on.
And he's batting in marvellous form now, and that's a perfect illustration of it. Yes, we'll see here Marshall over pitching, Crowe just playing it straight back, just slightly on the onside past the bowler, 4 runs. Patel playing another big shot. He's a man for the big shots, Bob.
Well, really, it's what New Zealand need at this stage, isn't it? And Dipak's prepared to go for them.
194 for 5, 46. 10 runs needed for New Zealand's second ever victory in one-day internationals against the West Indies. And an historic occasion. The first one was in Christchurch at Lancaster Park, and here it looks as if Crowe will take them to victory. And that's going to beat Ambrose, is it? Oh no, he gets around the boundary pretty quickly. Crowe in the air and safely, and that's the 200 for New Zealand. With the 48th over being bowled, New Zealand just need 204 for victory, and they've made 200 of them. Crowe going back past Benjamin, and that's the win for New Zealand. The ball was in the air, the ball was dropped, but it's still going to go for 4. And as they did in Christchurch 10 years ago, Martin Crowe has slammed the ball and has taken the score to 206 for 5. New Zealand has beaten the West Indies, so New Zealand's been up for 5 matches in the Benson and Hedges World Cup of 1992. They've had 5 wins, And Martin Crowe has been a huge influence in the New Zealand performance. Magnificent innings again from the New Zealand captain, and he can well look very pleased as well as very tired after today's effort.
Well, New Zealand got an explosive start with Mark Greatbatch scoring 63 from 77 deliveries, including 3 sixes. A couple of them, shall we say, rather unorthodox shots, one over extra cover off Marshall and one over backward point off Curtly Ambrose. But Martin Crowe provided the rock-solid anchor for the innings after the loss of 1 or 2 wickets in the middle order. 81 from 81 deliveries he finished as he hit the winning runs as well. And New Zealand had 9 balls to spare at the end, 206 for 5, a win by 5 wickets. A look at those West Indian bowling figures. Well, Curtly Ambrose suffered a little under the onslaught of Mark Greatbatch. Malcolm Marshall did to a certain extent. Anderson Cummins was hit around by Crowe towards the end. Winston Benjamin bowled very well, ironically had the winning runs hit from him, and Carl Hooper was accurate with his off spinners.